Hey guys, Dan Malavé here, and you are officially locked into CarPodChats, the no BS podcast for anyone who lives and breathes the dealership grind. Today's episode is a big one, and I mean big, not just in content, but in energy, because we're talking about the day that defines your month, the day that makes or breaks your paycheck, the day that reveals who's a closer and who's just filling space. We're talking about the last day of the month. Now, if you've been in this business for more than 5 minutes, you already know what I'm talking about. That energy, that panic, that hope, that chaos. Phones ringing, deals walking in, inventory reshuffling, managers doing math like madmen, salespeople trying to get just one more. It's month-end madness, and it's beautiful, but it's also brutal because if you're not prepared, if your team isn't locked in, if you don't have a plan, you can easily crash and burn. Today, we're breaking it all down. How to prepare the day before, how to run the morning meeting that sets the tone, what to say and what not to say to your team, how to keep the desk cool under pressure, how to manage chaos without killing momentum, how to get that final unit over the curb, and yeah, how to deal with those customers who show up at 8:45 p.m. looking for the impossible. All of it unfiltered, uncensored, and very real. Let's get into it. First things first, let's talk mindset. Because no matter how good your numbers are or how many leads you've got cooking, if your mind is not right, your performance won't be either. And on the last day of the month, mindset is everything. There are two kinds of managers on month end. The ones who panic and start discounting before a customer even asks, and the ones who dig in, rally the troops, and make the magic happen. Guess which one makes money? Look, I've seen it too many times. The sales manager comes in on the last day with tired eyes, a bad attitude, and a number in mind they don't believe in. And what happens? They project that doubt to the team. The reps feel it. The floor starts second guessing. And suddenly, instead of closing 20 cars, they close 8. Not because they weren't customers, but because they don't believe. So here's the rule. You don't walk in talking about what can't happen. You walk in like it's already done. You walk in with solutions. You walk in ready to fight for the number because your team feeds off your energy. If you look defeated, they'll start checking out. But if you walk in ready to kill it, they'll run through walls for you. Let's rewind real quick. Winning the last day starts the night before. If you walk in at 8:58 a.m. trying to wing it, you're already behind. The real work, it happens after the store closes the night before, month end. Here's what I do. Review every open deal. What's sitting in pending? Who's hot but didn't buy? Who needs a call from a manager? I sort by highest gross potential and highest likelihood to close. Get with the BDC. I sit with my internet manager or coordinator and say, don't just give me leads. Give me warm bodies. Who said they might come in? Who ghosted? Who's been opening emails but hasn't replied? Let's make a list. Inventory audit. I work with my inventory manager or floor lead and ask, what's aged? What's got to go? What do we need to make a volume number with the OEM? Plan the energy of the next day. I literally write the meeting outline. Not just goals, but language. Who am I going to highlight? What am I going to say when the team is tired or discouraged? Now let's talk about the single most important 15 minutes of the day, the morning sales meeting. This is your huddle before the big play. If you fumble this, your whole day is off. Here's how I run mine on the last day of the month. Number 1, walk in energized. I don't care if I got 4 hours of sleep. I walk in with energy. Your people need to feel that you're awake, engaged, and on a mission. Number 2, acknowledge the pressure. Don't pretend it's just another day. Say it. Today's it. This is where we make or break the month. If we execute, we win. Number 3, show the scoreboard. I put up the board, who's at what number, who's close to hitting a bonus. Let them see it. Carlos needs 2 more to hit 20. Tanya hits her kicker with 1 more new car. Arturo sitting on 4 but has 5 solid ups today. Number 4, assign energy captains. I'll pull 2 to 3 of my most vocal reps and say, You're my fire starter today. Keep this floor alive. Check in with new guys. Let's keep the vibe aggressive. Number 5, end with urgency. I say something like, there's no tomorrow, no carryover. If they say, I'll think about it, you ask them, think about it when? At 12:01, when July 1st hits and that rebate's gone, you remind them that today is the day. And if you need help, TO me fast. Let's go. Then I clap, I walk out fast, and I make sure the next thing they see is me taking an inbound call or making a call to a customer. I lead from the front. All right, the meeting is done. You've rallied the team. The first few ups are in. You've got some pencils flying. Now we enter in what we call the pressure window between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. The vibe on the floor changes, and it's subtle, but it's everything. This is when some salespeople start pacing. The ones who haven't written a deal yet start panicking. BDC is holding out hope that afternoon traffic saves the day. You at the desk start feeling the weight of the number. Now, I want to be real here. This part of the day separates the sales managers from leaders. Anyone can pencil a deal at 10:15 a.m. when the customer's qualified and the salesperson is locked in. But it takes leadership to hold the line at 1:45 p.m. when the third TO in a row has gone sideways, the store's behind pace, and everyone is asking, do we need to start blowing stuff out? Here's my advice. Keep the desk calm. Don't let urgency become desperation. I remind my managers, we're not running a fire sale. We're running a business. When your team sees you staying composed, they follow suit. Protect your grosses, but be surgical. If you're going to give up front end, make sure you're maximizing trade, back end, or accessories. Don't hand away because someone said CarMax offered me more. Go to war for that value. Shorten the pencils. On the last day, don't send out 4-column quotes and let the customer go think about it. Be decisive, intentional, but clear. I'm showing you one number because it's the best I can do today. If it works, let's go. If not, I understand, but I've got others in line waiting for this exact car. Let me tell you about one of the wildest end-of-month moments I've ever had. So it's June 30th. We're sitting at 83 units. Goal is 85. OEM has a volume bonus on the line. If we hit it, it's a $20,000 back-end payout for the store. It's 8:52 p.m. We're about to lock the doors, and in rolls a man, and I'm not exaggerating here, with his wife, mother-in-law, toddler, and emotional support dog. That dog, by the way, was a huge dog. He says, I'm here to buy a truck tonight, but only if I can be out by 9:30. My floor manager looks at me like, no shot. The rep taking the up is a rookie, has no clue what to do with this. I jump in, I say, sir, I'd love to help you, but we close at 9. We're willing to stay late only if this is truly a ready-to-go situation. He says, oh, I'm ready. I've got a pre-approval. Let's do it. We fast-track him, appraise the trade, pencil hard. He argues, negotiates, makes phone calls like he's on a hostage situation. 9:15, 9:30, 9:45. We're still talking numbers. The kid is screaming. The dog is loose in the showroom. And then at 10:04 p.m., he finally says, fine, I'll do it. But only if you throw in floor mats and a roof rack. We need this unit. We say yes. 10:33 p.m., deal signed. 10:38 p.m., we hit our number. Team cheers. We lock the doors. And the sales rep gets a $250 spiff and learns what dealership life really is. That night, we called it the huge dog deal. That truck still comes to service to this day. Moral of the story, the last deal of the month is never normal. It's always a battle. It's always unpredictable, but it's also always worth it. Let's shift to strategy. As a leader, your job isn't just to desk deals. It's to manage flow. Here's what I mean. Number 1, know who's productive. You've got 12 people on the floor. Only 4 are writing deals. Figure out why. Is it luck? Is it assignment? Is it mindset? Sometimes you have to manually redirect the energy. I'll grab a salesperson and say, look, Chris is cold right now. I want you to take the next up. He needs a reset. You're hot. Let's keep it rolling. It's not favoritism, it's momentum management. Cut the distractions. Last day, nobody should be watching YouTube, scrolling TikTok, gossiping at the receptionist desk. I'll walk by and simply say, "Hey, are you locked in right now?" Not yelling, just reminding. This day ain't for chilling. We're here to hunt. Number 3, protect finance office. You start bottlenecking finance and your deals start falling apart. I stagger delivery times. I pre-print documents. I even send a TO manager to hold the customer in accessories or service if finance needs 5 minutes to catch up. Now for our next segment, we're going to be talking about the motivation, team rituals, and the final push to 100% in the power hours, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is where careers are made. You've been grinding all day. Everyone's tired. The showroom smells like takeout and urgency. And that's exactly when you kick it up another level. Here's how to approach this final phase. Energy check. Around 4:30, I walk the floor and ask, who's still got fuel in the tank? I don't just ask to check on their physical energy. I'm checking their mental fire. If someone's dragging, I might shift their focus. Let a hotter hand take the next step, or partner them up for a last-minute follow-up blitz. Number 2, lightning follow-up sessions. At 5 p.m., I do a 20-minute focused call sprint. Everyone gets on the phone, no distractions, just calls, texts, voicemails. It's not about setting up appointments. It's about pulling people in tonight. We say it's the last day of the month. There are incentives expiring at 9 p.m. If you're still thinking about that truck, now's the time. We've got one left, and I'm here until close. Want me to hold it? You'd be amazed how many people respond to a little controlled pressure. Now, let me tell you about one of my favorite month-end team rituals. We call it the bell to no retreat. It's a little antique bell we keep near the desk, and it only gets rung on the last day of the month when a deal was completely dead but got revived. I'm talking about the customer who stormed out, then came back, the one who said, "We'll sleep on it," but called at 8:10 p.m., the one where the bank came through at the last second, and every time we close one of those deals, we ring that bell loud. The sound echoes through the store. Reps come out of their offices, the floor resets, everyone remembers we're still in this. It's not about the bell, it's about the message. No retreat, no surrender. Not until the lights are off and the doors are locked. Whether it's a bell or a chant, a drink, a song, you need a moment on the last day that brings the team together. The next part, it's personal, because I've seen great managers lose the team during the last 90 minutes of the month. You know what I mean? They start yelling. They start blaming, they get sloppy with deals, they start texting the GM in all caps. You have to lead through that wall. The best last hours of the last day require composure, urgency, and a little bit of theater. Yep, I said it, theater, because part of being a leader is playing the role your team needs. Sometimes that means being the calm voice of reason. Sometimes it means being the war general. Sometimes it means pulling the rep aside and saying, "You've got 1 hour left. You're one away from 12. That's another $800. Go get it." And sometimes it means making the deal happen yourself. Managers who just sit at the desk and bark commands, they lose the floor when it matters the most. But managers who get involved, who show they'll fight for every unit, they don't just close, they inspire closers. Now, let's talk about the most stressful part of the month end. What if you're short? You're sitting at 87, the goal is 90, it's 8:30, and there are no ups left on the floor. This is when real strategy kicks in. Here's what I do. Internal mini contest. I tell the team, I've got a $100 Visa gift card for the person who gets someone back on the phone and in the store before we close. Sounds crazy, but that small challenge injects life into the floor, and sometimes it works. Number 2, one call closes. I grab the 3 hottest prospects from the CRM and make the calls myself. "Hey, this is Dan, the sales manager. I know you were looking at the MDX. We're making some aggressive final moves tonight before 9 p.m. If I can save you a trip back tomorrow, I'd love to earn your business right now. Can we talk for 5 minutes? Cut through the noise. Be direct. Pull from service. Yep, service. That customer who's dropping off their lease tonight, the parts guy's cousin, the oil change customer who mentioned their daughter's about to buy. You dig deep. You ask around. The final deal is done. The doors are locked. You did it. Now here's what I do in the quiet after the storm. I thank the floor in person, every rep, even the ones who only sold one. I write down what went right and what went wrong. I text the GM the final number, but I also tell him the story behind it. And I sit down and breathe, because that madness, that pressure, that stress, that's the part of the business that separates the pros from the tourists. So listen, whether you closed 35 cars or barely hit your personal goal, if you gave it everything you had on the last day of the month, you won. This business isn't about perfection. It's about grit, urgency, execution, passion, and a little madness, month-end madness. I hope this episode helped you feel seen, sharpen your focus, and gave you some tools to win the next closeout day. And hey, episode 14 is coming. We're switching gears a little. It's called Why Good Salespeople Quit, the quiet frustration no one talks about. Because not all burnout is loud. Sometimes it shows up as silence, and we're going to talk about it. Until then, I'm Dan Malavé. Thanks for riding with me on CarPodChats. Let's close strong. See you next time.